Hi everybody, Steve here. Today I want to talk about Mass times. I know it sounds like a riveting subject. However, something happened recently that made me think about Mass times. Our parish priest, where I attend Mass in South East London, he was retired by the bishop. Now he was in his 80s, I believe. He was very fit, he was very active, he was great, but he was retired. And in his place came two new parish priests, one experienced parish priest and someone who had recently been ordained. Both excellent, very likeable, brilliant, have brought really good ideas into the parish. Of course, our previous parish priest will be greatly missed, and when he was retired there was a lot of furore, it was a contentious issue. A lot of people were not happy, but of course that is change, and a change will happen. But the two new parish priests, I have to say, are excellent, and although we do miss our previous parish priest, we were all very fond of him, it is hopeful. However, I went to the 8 o'clock Mass every morning, and I infiltrated a rosary group. I say infiltrated because I would attend the 8 o'clock Mass, and I would normally get there early, and I realised there was a rosary taking place when I arrived. Now, eventually I would start to come a little bit earlier, and they used to kind of start the rosary at about 7:40. So I would move sort of up a pew every day for a week or so until I was almost amongst them. I'd infiltrated them, and they eventually gave me a rosary to say, a decade, and I was delighted. I mean, it was the best thing that happened to me for a long time. I would rather be brought into a rosary group than be a Hollywood actor paid £1 million a year. I don't think I'm going to get that choice very soon, but anyway. So I became part of the rosary group, and I got to know the people in the group, and they were wonderful people. And I believe the rosary is the most powerful prayer, and I believe every church should have a rosary group. But the 8 o'clock Mass was then moved to 9:30. Suddenly there was an article in the newsletter, and I spoke to our parish priest and said, look, why have you moved the Mass? This was a really popular Mass. And he said, look, there was some consultation and some of the parishioners wanted a later Mass. So my argument was, look, most of the people who come to that Mass, from what I can see, not all, but maybe 60% are retired. So they have a bit more flexibility. But anyway, the Mass was moved, which was very disappointing. Which made me then go to apps and online, and I discovered that early morning masses for people who work, are extremely rare in the Diocese of Southwark. Now you can get one in St George's Cathedral, Westminster, but again it's a traipse into town. I work in South East London, so I'd have to come all the way back. It's not doable. So in my parish, the local churches, which are like 1-2 square miles around from me, no, nothing. 9:30, 10 o'clock, maybe the odd evening Mass here and there, but not much. So it made me think, are daytime Masses only for retired people? And I don't want to sound as if I'm being, a bit sarcastic, although I am. But what about people who work, and what about school children? Wouldn't it be great to get some school... Some of the kids, there were some kids who used to come to this 8 o'clock Mass, and I was always really pleased to see they'd be in their uniform with their parents. And I think that's really wonderful, their parents are bringing them to preschool Mass. And I thought, we got lots of Catholic churches in my area, why not do this? Why not try to encourage children and workers and people into early morning Masses? Get the Eucharist early, sets you up for the day. So I wonder, where can we find these Masses? Now in Dublin, where I'm from, in central Dublin, I was there last week, there were a lot of early morning Masses, like St Teresa's, near Grafton Street. It's a Carmelite church. There were about 3 Masses in the morning, one at 7:30, one at 8:30. Then there was a beautiful little chapel on Bachelor's Walk, which I'd never seen before. Apparently it's quite new, and it had an 8 o'clock. And of course there is the cathedral, which only has a 10:30, which is very surprising, the Pro Cathedral. I think they actually charge, I don't know, I might be wrong, into Christchurch, I don't know. Anyway, forget I said that, because I don't want to give incorrect information. But in England, in London, it's very hard to get an early morning mass. So I thought to myself, what a shame. I was in Lourdes recently, and the engagement of young people in the grotto, in the basilica, was incredible. And I thought, young people want this. They want Mass. Why are we only giving the Mass on Sundays? Come on, we need to open up the church. It's not only for retired people. So if you see this video, please tell me, where do you go to Mass? Do you go daily? And if so, do you get an early Mass? Do you get an evening Mass? How do you do it? Please let me know in the comments. Because it's something I think is important, and I think it's something that needs to be looked at. And I have considered writing to the bishop. So anything that you can tell me, any information, any thoughts, any guidance, I'd really appreciate it. And I will talk to you soon in another video. Thanks. Have a great day.